Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name's Chris and it's fantastic to have you back with us for another video. And in today's video, I'm going to walk you through how I would invest $10,000 into the market today. My expectations would be to at least 15x my money. Do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on these 5 projects that I would look to invest in. Really interested to get your views and opinions. Would you swap any out? If so, what would you swap them for? And so on. Because, you know, I'm literally picking 5 projects that I think are ultra strong, and you know, I'm being very risk averse in my selection here, right? But you know, I expect a 15x minimum for these 5 projects as a collective. Now, this isn't financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You should treat this as educational purposes only. You know, only invest what you're willing to lose. This is a very volatile market. Anything can happen in crypto. You'll hear this being said all the time. No FOMOing in. Make sure you do your research and make sure you make your own investment decisions. So important. If you enjoy this sort of content, mash up that like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video. Don't forget to check out our NFT project. Goes live on Monday the 28th at 5 p.m. GMT. If you're interested in perhaps networking events with prominent people within the crypto space, that sort of stuff, that might be the project for you. So do check it out. We'd love to have you as part of our metaverse community. But right, let's get down to the desktop. Let's have a look at these 5 projects. Let me walk through my thoughts and opinions. Okay. So I'm going to start with Nunet right now. Nick and myself have been really transparent and honest. We did get into this on the private sale. The private sale and the public sale were the same price. We are vesting or part of the vesting for this particular project, which is over a 12-month period. So, you know, I just want to be transparent. We're not, you know, sponsored in any way by any of these projects. But, you know, I really do rate this project, which is why I invested in it. So Nunet, a global economy of decentralized computing. Now, currently on the Ethereum network, but we'll be porting over. I believe it's this quarter. You know, I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure it's this quarter. Porting over to Cardano. Now, you know, for me, there's a few reasons why I'm selecting this particular project. One, I think the team's just immense. I mean, if we have a look at the team here, again, one of the strongest teams that I think you'll see, right? Like 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗀𝗪 is one of the founders, 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗀𝗪, and then David here. You know, you got 𝗕𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪's also involved from SingularityDAO. Again, I just think, you know, it's a solid team. I think the use case is solid as well, and I think, you know, they've been really realistic with their expectations regarding performance. I think they've definitely undershot, so the expectations are going to be met is basically like my thoughts and opinions. So yeah, it lets anybody share and monetize their computing resource at scale and provides globally distributed optimized computing power to decentralized networks. You know, for example, you know, a lot of the nodes that are running on Cardano might utilize Amazon Web Services, for example, and I think that there'll be a real push from the likes of Nunet and probably some others in the space as well to basically take over and you know, from Amazon and pick up some of that business from some of the projects that, you know, I say projects, you know, the pools that are running nodes or projects that are running nodes. So I expect this to be something that, you know, really does sort of improve over time. I really like the tokenomics of this project and all that sort of stuff. But more importantly, at the moment, I really like the price. Even though it's up 11.41% at the time of recording, it's still only just over 4 cents, which means that basically if I broke my $10,000 investments that I'm looking to make today into, say, 2,000 chunks, so I invest in 5 projects, I would put $2,000 into Nunet. That would actually get me 46,652 coins for this particular project. Now I think Nunet can easily reach 70 cent as a target. Now that's not going to be something that happens in the next like week or few months even, but ultimately as this project grows, I think a 70 cent price target, you know, within the next 5 years is definitely something that's achievable for this project, which means that $2,000 would return you over $32,500, which isn't too shabby from a $2,000 investment, which, you know, is silly amount of X percentage. So for me, Nunet had to make the list. Now there is another reason why Nunet also makes the list, and that is because SingularityDAO also makes the list right now. Before I sort of get into the ins and outs of 𝗕𝗓, you can stake Nunet, and everybody knows I like a good passive income, but at 61% APR, I think, you know, you're going to be able to grow that $2,000 just from staking your Nunet tokens here through SingularityDAO. So, you know, again, just want to sort of clarify why I am so bullish on Nunet and how I think that you know should be sort of taken into consideration. But moving on to SingularityDAO, again, another project that I think is really good with their Dynasets. I kind of expect this project to really take off. It's up 3%. It's at 79 cent 13 currently at the time of recording. You know, you've got your Dynasets, which is basically a way of outperforming the market. So basically you can put I don't know, Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, USDT, Nunet, SingularityNET, 𝗕𝗓 tokens into these different Dynasets, and basically the artificial intelligence and machine learning will basically act like a mini hedge fund, like a crypto hedge fund of sorts, and it will basically outperform the market in the background making trades. So it's a fantastic way to again just grow your portfolio in a bear market, for example. So I do expect this project to do really well. They've got a launch pad, you've got your bridge, you've got swaps as well through the platform. And like I say, you can do yield farming and all those sorts of wonderful things. So for 𝗕𝗓 returning just under 20% APR, again, another reason to add it to your portfolio is, you know, you can outperform the market, grow your portfolio. You know, if we've got a 5-year horizon for the investment term that we're looking to make, again, I think this is a fantastic project to do that with. Just my opinion. Let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on 𝗕𝗓. I'm a huge fan. But again, if I was to invest $2,000, I'd be able to get 2,527 𝗕𝗓. Now, I think 𝗕𝗓, and this is me being conservative, I think it can reach $20. I actually think it can reach probably double that, but, you know, I'm being really conservative in my numbers here. We've already seen it reach over $6. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to do it this cycle, but, you know, long term, I think it can do that. And that $2,000 would then return over $50,000, right? That doesn't take into any consideration, you know, the staking opportunities, the yield that you could generate just from holding your 𝗕𝗓 in the pools, for example. So yeah, do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on 𝗕𝗓. I do think that this one's going to do really well. And yeah, I think it's going to take some time, but I think people will start to see it how I see it, right? Yeah, but interested to get your views and opinions. Moving on, we've got SingularityNET, right? So this is basically me going through the whole Singularity family, it would appear, right? But currently at 11 cent. I think you could obviously, you know, get it slightly less. It's up 7% at the time of recording, but I would invest $2,000 in this particular one. Now, people might want to swap this one out. Again, I take into the consideration the fact that you can you know, yield a passive income from SingularityNET. I think that's a good way to do that. You can do that through 𝗕𝗓. Plus, you're going to be airdropped up and coming projects through the Singularity family as they sort of onboard more and more projects. So for me, I expect, you know, many reasons to hold SingularityNET. Not only that, the project is a fantastic one. It really levels the playing field as an AI marketplace. So there is a monopoly at the moment around AI, with the big firms like Google, Facebook, and Amazon, and so on. But the small players will be able to utilize something like SingularityNET, and be able to play in like the big boy leagues, really. And that's what I really like about it in the real world. It is leveling that playing field. I think that's so important. Now, this might not necessarily give you the biggest gain from a token. Now, I'm being really conservative, but I think 50 cent is kind of where this one can go, which would basically, if you invested now, you'd probably get about 18,250 tokens, but it would return your $2,000 investment would return you just over $9,000. So not to be sniffed at, but I could see why maybe some people at home might want to switch this one out for something else that returns a higher percentage yield. But I really like it, and I'm kind of having this in as a bit of a punt on future projects, from the Singularity family, because I think there's going to be some fantastic projects that pop up, and I want to be involved in those, right? But do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are. Really interested to know. Moving on, I just have to include Cardano at like 94 cent, just over, ranked number 7. Massively undervalued. Lots of trash being spoken about this project, but there's a lot that all of the projects up to this point have had in common. They're all going to be on Cardano. They're all moving from Ethereum. Dr. 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗔𝗥𝗘, we've had him on the channel, and he's told us obviously how it's a more superior blockchain. Don't get me wrong, we know that there's going to be developers that are having troubles and difficulties trying to learn the new language, but ultimately, over time people will learn it. It'll be worth learning because all these big projects are going to port over, and ultimately I see artificial intelligence and machine learning becoming a big deal on the Cardano blockchain, and AI and machine learning is literally going to change the world. So for that very reason, these projects are all in this list, right? Like, it's not by accident. Now, not only that, I do think that you're going to have, they're labeling it up 𝗲𝗓. You're going to have World Mobile and all these other projects onboarding the unbanked and, giving them digital identification. You're going to have MELD, which is going to, and 𝗕𝗘𝗪, that are becoming real world banks that are on the blockchain. So for me, there's just so much going on, particularly when you've got the likes of Canada becoming very controlling, stopping people from being able to access their funds in their banks. You're starting to see the real reason why something like this could be a success and thrive. And I think a lot of this is going to take place on the Cardano ecosystem. Again, they've got smart contracts, we're waiting for the Hydra upgrade, all these sorts of things, but ultimately it's superior technology. Regardless what people say, regardless about what you hear, people are all het up on the small time frames, and I get everybody's here to make money, and Cardano really has not been performing from an investment point of view for making money currently. But I do see this as a phase, and I do expect it to really do a huge reversal. And I think there could be a lot of people that aren't seeing this opportunity as that and what it is, and that is an opportunity to pick up Cardano at less than $1. For me, is just mind-boggling. And obviously I've been sort of dipping in and getting some aid, and Nick has as well. And ultimately I think this one's going to do really, really well. Now, long term, we think $15 is definitely something that's achievable for Cardano. We're going to get lots of hate for this, but I think that's a conservative figure. I think it could go much higher. Remember, my time horizon is 5 years. So, if that was the case, you'd be able to buy 2,147 ADA right now. And that would return just over $32,000 if it reached $15 a coin. Again, I think this is something that is achievable. Do let me know what your thoughts and opinions are in the comments below. And then the fifth and final project where I would put my last $2,000 would be VeChain. Obviously, it's been having a horrendous time for price. Now, I think we're going to see a tremendous bounce. Matt from 𝗕𝗓 thinks we're going to see a tremendous bounce. For me, it's a more superior product or project than it was when it was at its all-time high. You've got POA 2.0 upgrade. You've got more and more developments happening in the background. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this one develops. Great team, great tech, huge partnerships, and for less than 5 cents for me is an absolute steal. It's up 5.89% at the time of recording, ranked 42nd by market cap. Now, if you were to invest in this, you'd get just over 40,500 tokens. Now, I reckon it can get to 70 cents. Again, this is my conservative figure. I think it can go much higher, but if it was to get there, it would reach or it would return $28,437. So again, a huge increase on your initial investment, and I think for that reason it's definitely worth a look. Now, those are the 5 projects that I would invest $2,000 in each, so 10,000 in total. Now, my $10,000 would, based on my price predictions, would work out as a return of about $152,000. I think this is super realistic, but I'm really interested to get your views and opinions. What would you swap out? What would you swap in? Would you have any of these projects? I'm just really interested to get your views and opinions. Now, I think you've got fantastic staking opportunities or yield opportunities with many of these projects that I called out: your Cardano, your AGIX, your SingularityDAO, your Nunet, for example. I really do think that it's a good selection of projects that you don't have to just store in a wallet that are just going to sit there and not do anything for you. I think some of these projects are going to really increase in value, but also the number of coins that you have if you're staking or yielding with them. So yeah, interested to get your views and opinions. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, mash up that like button. It really does support the channel and we really do appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Tapping that bell, selecting all the notifications so you never miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.